Alrighty everyone, I've got another video for you, and this time it's about MASI, the Morales Method Academy of Structural Integration. And as some of you know, our program, which is not affiliated with IASI, our program is a hybrid program that offers online courses and in-person courses in order to get someone certified as a structural integration practitioner. We recently did an FAQ where I actually talked about the program and answered some questions from people who were interested in attending the classes. There are still some questions out there, and I wanted to put this video together in order to answer some of these questions. So without further ado, let's get to a couple of the questions that seem to keep coming up. Alrighty, first question is, can I just take the online courses? Well, the short answer is, if you want to be a MASI certified practitioner and be able to practice structural integration under the MASI badge, then no, you cannot just take the online classes. The online classes are there as part of the hybrid program in order to really kind of get you ready for the in-person classes. You've heard me mention this term hybrid online. What does it actually mean? Well, what we're doing here is creating a program that that allows you to take courses online, allows you to do some home study, and also allows you to do in person. So what ends up happening is a student will take some courses online to get them ready to review the theory, and then they take the in-person courses. And then once they have a practical application, a practical sense of the work, then they go and do some home study. Then at that point, they come back, the student comes back and does more in-person courses in order to get their touch, in order to get their protocol, in order to get all of that refined and get some questions answered. That's pretty much the basic program. The advanced program is where we go into basically a more advanced approach to the series, a more advanced approach to the protocol. And at that point, there's probably been some space between the courses, and at that point, they might have some more questions that I'm happy to answer, and we can go from there. How long does it take? Well, because of scheduling and because of the fact that so many people come from so many different parts of the US in order to take the class, sometimes we need to work with scheduling a bit. So getting the classes, the in-person classes actually formed and ready to go does take a little bit. So normally, from what we've seen in the past, pre-pandemic, it'll take about 1.5 years to up to 2 years to get everything done. But what we've been seeing, because of the way we structure the program, is that it could take about 1 year, 1.5 years at this point. How much does it cost? Great question. We've broken up the program into different parts. There's a basic part and an advanced part. And the basic part has 2 levels. The advanced part has 1 level. And let me just kind of give you the numbers here as I read through them. So the basic part will cost around $4,800. So factor in about $5,000 for the basic training. The advanced program will cost about $3,300, $3,280 to be exact. So if you decide to do the whole thing, the basic and the advanced, we've got about a little under $9,000 in order to complete the whole program. Why is it so different from other programs? Well, it's because we're able to make it more accessible and thereby more affordable by offering the online portion. So that's a part of why we pushed to have the online portion as part of our program. The big question, where is it held? Fantastic question. Well, over the past 3 years, we've really been trying to get classes going in different parts of the country and also different parts of the world. We had plans to do the classes, the in-person classes in San Francisco, in Las Vegas, even in Japan. So right now, what we are planning on is to open up the possibility for classes to be held in San Francisco or Los Angeles. And we're actually kind of steering more towards Los Angeles. If there is, and this is, by the way, this is July 2023, to just kind of timestamp what I'm talking about here. If we get a huge demand for classes to be held in San Francisco, then by all means, we'll have them in SF. But for now, we are really leaning towards LA, Los Angeles, in order to get the in-person classes going. Is this program IASI approved? And notice in the beginning, I did mention that organization, IASI, IASI, stands for the International Association of Structural Integrators. Is MASI IASI approved? Answer is no. We decided to not seek approval because we decided to create our program the way we wanted to make it. And that includes making it a hybrid program. The other reason is because we have here at Morales Method, we have a very strong belief that the program does not need to be a certain number of hours in order for us to effectively teach structural integration. So under IASI regulations, they require us to have the program be a certain number of hours. We don't believe that it needs to be that certain number of hours. I think it's under 600 hours in order to effectively teach SI. So what happens sometimes is that you end up, if you need to meet a certain number of hour criteria, you end up sticking a lot of filler. And we don't believe that filler is really a good use of your time and energy. So we decided to make it the class that we wanted to make, which is a little under 300 hours. It's about 275 hours. The other thing is because we cater to massage therapists that have been working in the field, that have been doing their work for a while, we don't feel that we need to review and go over a whole lot of material that the person has already learned in order for them to actually move into the space of SI. So a massage therapist who has taken 600 hours, 800 hours, 1,000 hours of training really can benefit from a shorter program instead of having to take 580 hours of possible filler work. Why should I study with Morales Method? Well, the way that we put together this course really allows the practitioner to easily absorb the information. The way that we do it is really to get you kind of battle ready very quickly. I try to give you an analogy and try to use different analogies. And one analogy would be in the world of martial arts. Let's say, for example, there is a martial art that is a lot all about forms and learning forms or katas, learning how to do the form properly. And then eventually there is the practical application of the form. Then there are martial arts that are really all about practicality, techniques, and that can be used out on the street or in the field or in an aspect of self-defense, and they can be used right away. Those are practiced, those are really brought into muscle memory until the student really learns how to use that particular martial art effectively. Well, MASI, I consider MASI to be on that end of the spectrum. We're not about a lot of theory and form. We're really about the practical applications of the work. Yes, there's theory. Yes, there are concepts. Yes, there are ideas, but they are really, in my opinion, effectively woven into the work. We go through them, we understand the ideas, and then boom, we get to work to putting them into our body work. This creates a program and a modality that, again, is very battle ready. You can actually use it very quickly from the moment that you take the first in-person course. From there, you can start practicing SI and start to get a sense of what it is. Are you going to be the best SI practitioner ever? Who knows? Most likely not. There's still a lot of time and a lot of work that needs to be put into this type of work in order to be very, very effective, but you can get started right away. And that's the great thing. That's the thing I like about sharing the way that we teach. So, if this is something that appeals to you, if you've been doing work for a while, and if you feel that you'd like to go into this area of structural integration, then this is the program for you. And finally, what will I learn? That's a great question. What you're going to learn is the MASI structure for structural integration. As you know, my training comes from the Rolf Institute. I'm a certified advanced Rolfer and all of that. But what you will learn is essentially my way of doing structural integration from my training and the work that I've done over the last 15 years. I molded and created a different approach to structural integration. There's a definite amount of structure. There are questions that are answered. There is a whole amount of layers that are explained with regards to structural integration. And this is what I share with you. This is how I teach it. And I teach it in a way that makes it very accessible. On that note, you will not learn how to be a Rolfer or call yourself a Rolfer. If you want that, that's a different path. Here, you're going to learn to be a MASI practitioner. You're going to learn the Morales method way of structural integration. You're going to learn how to assess. You're going to learn how to palpate in the way that we palpate. And then you're going to learn our 10-session recipe. But you're also going to learn not just how we do it, but how come, why we do it the way we do it. So there is explanation as to our method. That's it, folks. I hope this helped. I hope this was great information for you. Please, 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 if you have any questions, reach out, ask away. We are getting ready to create our program, the in-person program. Like I said, most likely Los Angeles by the end of this year in October. And I look forward to hearing you and look forward to seeing you in person.